What's up, everyone? Back again, Mr. Totem with another Veteranos Corner. And again, I'm going to expound on one of my earlier videos of using the New York Thin. But this time, you know, this particular video is about being able to use a New York Thin, or what I got right here, a Rusto Orange Ball Fat on a Rust-Oleum can. All right, now you see that? The ones with the male ends and stuff like that. Most of these cans, you know, a lot of these guys, what they do is they go get an adapter to put on top of these cans because, you know, I have a thing for Rusto, right? A lot of my older pieces, the ones that probably surprise you, most of them were done with Rusto, cans just like this. This one happens just to be a can of high heat. But, you know, these particular tops like this, where the end is like that, a lot of times, you know, the only option you have is to either to use the stock tip that's on it, which I did, just like everyone else, or to actually adapt one of these kind of caps to go into this particular can. Now, what makes it hard to do is that you have to make a choice, all right? You know what I'm saying? You got to either A, go with them adapters, which is fine. You know, it just goes right on top like that, boop, like that, and then another one, boop, goes on top of that. And essentially your area where you hold the cap on top of the can and stuff like that, it becomes super tall. Like, you end up holding that like this, you know what I'm saying? Feel like you got a crab claw, you know? It's like up here like, ah! Now, I don't like that feeling. I don't like having to hold the can like this. Know what I'm saying? Some guys are cool with that. You know, maybe you guys got ginormous hands and stuff like that and got no problem. You grab the whole bottom of the can and the top of the can and your fingers all the way out to here. Fine, that's great. My hands, you know, is like an average person's hands. You know, I'm not walking around with gorilla hands. I like to be able to at least have, you know, my middle finger right at the ring somehow. So this is how I do it, all right? So these caps, right? The stem, just like any other, right? Especially some of these old school tips, if you will. These have that little, I always tell people, that little ridge at the bottom, right? You could kind of see. It's hard to see. I can imagine, but at the bottom, and look how old this cap is, right? Look, it's all antiqued. It's from the 80s or something. I wanted to have an orange ball, like, to show y'all. I normally would use a New York Thin and do this whole trick with, but I really wanted to show with an orange ball because I just love orange balls, but I don't really have them at the disposal all the time. But if you do, you can do it with a Thin, or you can do it with any old school, even the Lego heads. You can do it with those. New York Fats, all the same setup. So this little ridge right here, right? You can run your nail on it, like I said in the past video. You can run your nail right on that ridge, and when you run the nail on the ridge, you can feel this part, right? This little part right there, you gotta cut off, okay? And it's super important you cut it off with a razor blade because it needs to be straight, the way that you actually cut it off, all right? When you cut that off, it basically leaves the end exposed and just basically a shorter tip. Now, this can get scary at this point because you're like, oh man, I didn't ruin the tip. I can't put it in anything now. Yeah, you may think that if you stop here. But what happens is what you got to do is, normally I have a bunch of keys, right? Let me show you. Now, so I have a gang of keys, right? No matter wherever I go, I always have a gang of keys. And the bunch of stuff that I have on my keys, I have a bunch of different tools and stuff like that that I keep on the keys. One of them is actually this one. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or whatnot. This particular tool is just your standard screwdriver, you know, Phillips head screwdriver, where it's a certain thickness, right, diameter this way, that's basically a millimeter larger than this stem, okay? Now, this is very important to understand this. So what I do is I take that tool and I cut off the bottom, I bend it. Okay, you can see this kind of like number 9 thing going on right here, or number 6 or whatever. This bend, I put it on a key ring. Okay? This tool has saved me in a number of binds, and if you grow to be a healthy, normal man, you'll have some random tools that'll help you in a bind. This particular one has helped me in a number of different situations, right? And potential situations. You know, whether I want to take the kids' toy out of the box. Sometimes it has these weird screws. I can get it out. You know, I don't know. I can fight crime with this thing. Now, for this particular instance, when you cut this off, that little end, you're going to take this and shove it into the hole. Okay, it's very important that you find one of these micro screwdrivers that's a millimeter bigger than this hole. I can't remember exactly what the size is, but I'm pretty sure if you get one, you'll see it. It's quite similar. Do you see it? I know it's, God, I hope this is coming out. So that particular end, you drive it in, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a piece off. Okay, so I cut the end off like that. Now here's where it gets a bit difficult, okay? You take the end and you put it in. Now you can see I cut it off with a razor blade, so it's relatively straight. It's the reason why it's important that it's straight cut this way is because when you actually put it on the can's top, it's going to be important that that sits on there, and the flat bottom prevents it from getting cockeyed and wobbling over the top and all this kind of stuff, because at this point it's very important, this step. When you drive it inside like this, you'll push it and it will basically flex open. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see it. Okay? As it flexes open, I shove it in harder like this. There, you see it's wider. Like that. At this point, it has to be straight on there. Okay? As you push down on it, like this, you start rotating, like this. What I do is I rotate and rotate. Let me take it off of my key ring. When I rotate and rotate, I rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate until it heats up. Once it's heated up, I do like that. So what y'all gonna do is y'all gonna come with me. So I switched over to this random Valspar can that has the same kind of top. I'm only using it because the other ones, it's really hard to see because it was a bunch of black spray paint that sprayed out the top. But if you look on this one, you can see it's the exact same type of male end right there. And I got the fat cap, the orange ball on my little thing. So as you rotate it, rotate it, basically till it warms up, okay? And it's already nice and snug and tight on there. So as it warms up, it will basically conform, all right? As it conforms, you take it off quick, It's very important at this stage because this is the part where it's kind of a make it or break it when it comes to whether this will work or not. When you put the cap on there, right, and it seems like it's on, but at this point it will try to rock on and off and all this kind of stuff like that. And like, for example, like right here, it had a little split. That little split and stuff like that happens every now and again, depending on how old the cap is, but it's not indicative that it's not going to work. It's just, it may give you a little bit of a hard time. It'll basically spread open the tip, and sometimes it gives you a hard time, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see. But at this point, what you do is you put it on there, and at this point, it will do some rocking like this, okay? When it rocks, it's still warm. You have to, at that point, kind of prepare yourself. It may, you may want to aim the spray out the other way. You shove it down as hard as possible, and then it will basically conform to the open end right there. When it conforms, that's where you know, like, okay, it's good. So at that point, yeah, so we got success here. So that right there, it's a crucial part to shove it in and push it down. It's easiest when you hold the can like this and you put it on and you force it down. Sometimes it will blast out of there, okay? All right, now, if you see, yeah, you see? Just like that. And the best part about it is you can take it off. See it? And you can put it back on another can. What do you think? So yeah, don't give up on rustos, okay? I know that they're doing a bunch of stuff like, conforming it to where they're using it for graffiti writing and all this kind of stuff, and using the stock tip is fine, but sometimes you just want the same old feeling, and this is how I do it. So yeah, don't give up. Peace out, y'all. Try it on one of your random rusto cans if you got some, and maybe it'll work. I don't know. I kind of like to keep some of these old school caps just because, and of course you've heard that from me, so this is how I do it for a can like this. All right? Y'all take care, okay? Mr. Totem out. Peace.